Hey guys, I know I already did a video on deviled eggs, and so I'm not trying to necessarily repeat that, although I know there's some people that said, I didn't see that, and for whatever reason they haven't tried to go back on my channel. But I wanted to show you something. This one, right here, you can see that little bubble. Well, it's not a bubble, it's a lump on the egg. I've got one chicken that tends to do that all the time, where it gets an overabundance of shell in one spot. And I took some fresh eggs to somebody yesterday at my other job, and someone came over and said, "Oh, fresh eggs," and she goes, "Oh, I would not eat that." She was adamant that she would not eat an egg that had a deformed shell or something, and it's nothing wrong with it. It means that she's producing a lot of shell. So, and they've got enough calcium in their diet. This one doesn't really represent a lot of it, but what I wanted to go over while I was rolling and peeling eggs, because I will give these shells back to the chickens. I try, if I'm going to do, I do hard-boiled eggs all the time, but if I'm going to do eggs, deviled eggs, I try to peel them right away. I put a little bit of vinegar in the water. I don't know that it helps, but I try. And then really shock them in ice water, and they peel up really nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that little egg right there, except it's got a piece of shell right there. So it's all peeled nice. Now, that being said, one of these eggs out of the 13 or whatever that I did will have a problem, and that's okay too. I don't mind. But it's kind of cool. This egg here, and I don't think you can see it because the specks are too small, but it's got specks on it, and she's got different color variations on it, and a little bit of a raised shell. So I get a real big variety of color, which is it's really fun. This one's really freckled up, and you can kind of see that in the camera. So what I've got in this bowl are green onions, and I discovered tonight I will need a new little mini chopper because it just isn't doing the job the way I'd like. I also have 3 pretty big jalapenos that I seeded and cored, took the pith out. And then the other thing that I wanted to run past you was Costco has this mayonnaise for $3.99, I believe, and it is you cannot tell the difference between Best Foods or any of them than this. It's amazing. So, and it's a lot cheaper. Now, the expiration date here says August 10, 2011. And I bought this back in February. And we've been using it. I date everything. You can see 211. So we date everything as it comes in the door, pretty much. And so I went to get a new one out, and it's dated the same. So, well, there's the date right there. And it's August 10, 2011. Usually I check a little more clearly. I don't know how I thought I was going to eat all that, or we were going to eat all that mayonnaise, because on a day-to-day basis, we don't eat real mayonnaise. I only use real mayonnaise for certain recipes. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with the smell. There's nothing wrong with the texture. It looks just fine. So that was part of the purpose of this video, was to let you know that I think our agencies that be are overly cautious. In some respects, it's wasteful, because I know there's people that would not touch this and would throw it away. And so you're wasting perfectly good food that still has shelf life. So I don't know. I would rather see you eat it. There's nothing wrong with it. The seal wasn't broke. I don't see a reason to throw that out if I don't feel like something's failed. So that's partly my video tonight. And peeling eggs is just Isn't it a wonderful chore? But I'm going to take some of these tomorrow. I'm putting, I've got jalapenos, I've got green onions, and I'm going to put some bacon bits on top and call it good. And I also I'm going to use real mayonnaise. I'm going to use yellow mustard, red wine vinegar, and salt and pepper. And that's how I roll. So see these beautiful fresh eggs out of my hen house, my little coop, as I call it. Girls they're doing pretty good. I'm getting 6 out of 8 hens a day. So that means I only get 2 chicken pot pies here this fall. LOL. But hopefully you guys come back and watch. I hope you rate this video and you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. I have to say a big thank you to all my subscribers because yours are just the nicest people that I could be associated with. Thank you so much. So I'm going to get done. Maybe I'll come back when they're all done and pretty and so you can see. Alright. Okay. So out of the 15 eggs, I had one that I had no choice but to eat the white. It was pretty bad. Right after I turned the camera off. This one, it's not so perfect, but it's interesting and it will taste good and I'm saving it. So the rest of them all came out good. I really think doing them instead of letting them cool, 'cause sometimes when I make deviled eggs, and I cook these, once it gets up to a boil, I make sure that I cook these for a good 10 to 12 minutes. And I'm trying not to rocket boil them per se, but I definitely, I just keep a nice boil going. I wipe my knife off so the next egg doesn't get a big blob of yolk on it, although I think I did it with my hand. And I'm trying to get little pieces of shell. I rinsed all these off, so they should be okay. So I'm going to get all these yolks in here and we'll be almost ready to go. And I did want to reiterate that the mayonnaise that's almost gone, I've made deviled eggs like 3 times, and I made tartar sauce for some fish we had. I made, not fish sticks, but fish and chips, and I made tartar sauce. I have done tons of stuff, and we're all okay. I'm here to make another video, and I'll be here to make another video tomorrow with my expired mayonnaise. So I wouldn't be afraid if something says it's expired by a month or so, but use your judgment. If you're not comfortable with that, please don't take my advice. I just would use, go with your gut and figure it out. But I'm not scared. So there you go, and there you have it. I'm going to finish cutting these eggs up and get my filling going, and I'll be back to show you the rest. Alright. Okay, so I've got some deviled eggs here. I got quite a few. Because you put extra into the mixture, you're adding to the yolk mixture, you're adding mustard, mayonnaise. I've got jalapeno in here and green onion and bacon. And so I'm just going to top this little sprinkle of paprika to make them pretty. Everybody likes that paprika look. Normally I top them with the bacon, but I just got a hair up, that I could do it inside, and it works out just fine. Anyway, I've done this a few times. So this is what I do with my excess eggs, or my overabundance of eggs, and people at work enjoy them. So I'll take these to work tomorrow. I'm going to have a jelly tasting. Sounds funny, but I'm going to have a jelly tasting at work also. And here in a couple weeks, it'll be a big jelly tasting. We're moving our salon. It's going to be a new location, and so we're all going to bring stuff to celebrate the move. So, what I wanted you to get out of this video was, don't be afraid. And, I mean, I don't want to advise anybody to eat something that's not okay, but I do know that they put those expiration dates on there, and sometimes they're not expired, and I feel like Americans waste a lot of food. I live in a town or a city where we have buffets all the time, and they throw out tons of food. They will not give it to the homeless or donate it because if somebody did say they got sick from it, they would be liable. So our society has become very wasteful because of stuff. So I hope this inspires you to, you know, check your labels. And I'm not saying use stuff that's funky. I'm just saying I've opened stuff that I either didn't look at the label and looked at it later, which was partly the case tonight, or you know, I've gone, wait a minute, that I just bought that cannot be bad, or it doesn't look bad. So use your judgment, and I hope this inspires you to look at your labels and maybe make something that you hadn't thought of making before. And I'm going to have one of these deviled eggs here, or eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And then you'll see me in a future, oh yeah, this one's the one. You'll see me in a future video where, oh my goodness, I'll still be here. All right, YouTube. See you next time.